the story of the American Revolution. Once upon a time, in the 1700s, there were 13 colonies along the east coast of North America. These colonies were filled with people who worked hard: farmers, merchants, blacksmiths, and sailors. Though they lived far away across the ocean, they were ruled by a powerful king in Britain named King George III. At first, many colonists were proud to be British, but as the years passed, things began to change. The British government started making new laws and taxes that upset the colonists. They had to pay more money on things like tea, paper, and stamps, even though they had no representatives in Britain's parliament to speak for them. The colonists began to say, "No taxation without representation." They wanted a voice. They wanted fairness. The spark of rebellion. One chilly night in 1773, angry colonists disguised themselves as Native Americans and crept aboard British ships in Boston Harbor. Quietly, they dumped crates of tea into the water to protest the unfair tax. This daring act became known as the Boston Tea Party. King George was furious. He punished Boston harshly, closing its harbor and sending more British soldiers to keep order. But instead of scaring the colonists, it only made them more determined. The shot heard round the world. In 1775, in the towns of Lexington and Concord, the first battles broke out between British soldiers and colonial fighters called Minutemen, because they were ready to fight at a minute's notice. No one knew who fired the first shot, but it changed history forever. People called it the shot heard round the world. Soon after, the 13 colonies formed an army, led by a tall, brave man named George Washington from Virginia. A nation is born. On July 4th, 1776, leaders from all 13 colonies met in Philadelphia. They signed an important paper called the Declaration of Independence, written mainly by Thomas Jefferson. It boldly said that all people have rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that the colonies were now free and independent states. The war for freedom was long and difficult. The colonists faced powerful British armies, cold winters, and little food. But they never gave up. With courage, help from countries like France, and strong leadership from Washington, they finally won. In 1781, the British Army surrendered at Yorktown, Virginia, and in 1783, Britain officially recognized the United States of America as an independent nation. The meaning of the Revolution. The American Revolution was more than just a war. It was the birth of a new idea. That ordinary people could govern themselves, that freedom and equality mattered, and that a new nation could rise from courage and hope. And so, from 13 small colonies grew a country that would forever change the world, the United States of America.